The climate policies foisted on this nation by Labor, the Greens and the Teals are hitting hard again. Electricity prices went up again in July and some of the government subsidies are coming off. This is fuelling inflation and increasing the cost of living, of course. Have a look at these power bills sent in by a viewer from the New South Wales Central Tablelands. In the winter quarter of 2023, his bill totalled $1,286. That's just for 3 months. The following year, even though he was away for a couple of weeks during the period, the bill for the same quarter had increased to just short of $1,420. Still an increase, of course. But then jumped to this winter. In a part of the world where the winters do get pretty cold, the bill jumped to more than $2,000. That's an increase of nearly $750 or close to 60% in just 2 years. This is just one example. But we keep being told, of course, not to worry about any of this because the rollout of renewable energy will fix it.
Australians know that the cheapest form of energy is renewables.
I'll tell you what else hasn't changed, the economics, that renewables are the cheapest form of energy.
It doesn't matter how often they say that. The reality does not change. Power prices are going up because of the renewables push, not despite it. Another example of this policy area unfolding today with news that the biggest coal-fired power station in Queensland looks like shutting down early in less than 4 years' time. The closure of this 1,680 megawatt plant at Gladstone is bound to create energy security problems for the grid. Yet this sort of closure is exactly what the net zero and renewable energy policies are designed to do. They are designed to make coal power uneconomic and force it out of the system. The trouble is that renewables are not reliable, they're intermittent, so the system can't actually work without that dispatchable power, the same dispatchable power that the policies are trying to force out. It's that inane. My prediction, and it's a sure bet already because we've seen this happen before, the state government will end up subsidising the Gladstone coal-fired power station to keep it going. Yeah, government policies subsidise renewable energy to force coal out, and then they subsidise coal because the grid won't work without it. It's already happened in other states, and look out, that sort of nuts, insane double subsidy will be happening in Queensland next. But the National Climate and Energy Minister, Chris Bowen, well, he reckons the transition is all going swimmingly. That story I brought you yesterday about the vast area of farming country and bushland being taken over for the renewables rollout, well, he reckons the numbers in that were all exaggerated and renewables are actually wonderful for the regions.
And we know that renewables and agriculture work well together, with farmers choosing to host solar panels and sheep together and wind turbines and cattle together, for example, increasing their income and making their income drought-proof. So, renewables is actually good for agriculture. It won't take up the room you read in the newspaper today. When you read claims by people who love nuclear but hate renewables, it always pays to check the facts.
Well, if Chris Bowen is so clear about the facts, he should put out some data on how much land will be needed and where. He should also turn up for an interview now and then. In another post on social media, Bowen has dismissed the ClimateGate scandal as a conspiracy theory. No, it wasn't, Minister. It was climate scientists caught out focusing on the global warming narrative rather than just the facts. And he mocked the concerns that mining magnate and agriculture investor Gina Rinehart, who I should point out advertises on this channel, Bowen mocked the concerns that Rinehart was showing for farmers.
They already have more than enough to worry about with devastating droughts, floods, fires.
That's the point. Climate change makes droughts and floods worse. It reduces farm productivity and farm profits. Farmers understand this. That's why we're acting. One of the reasons we're acting to deal with climate change.
Again, he's just wrong. There is no evidence that Australian droughts and floods are worse because of climate change. There are predictions, but the facts, remember the minister says he's into the facts simply do not support the claim that they're making things worse now. Also, when Bowen claims he's acting on climate change to protect farmers, this is arrant nonsense. There is nothing Australia can do that will impact on the climate. He knows that. He must know that. Whatever you think of global warming and emissions reductions, the science, the facts tell us that whatever we do in Australia, it will have no impact on the climate with our 1% and declining share of global emissions. We are stuck with whatever comes our way. So stop misleading people, Chris Bowen. Deal in facts. You are telling lies about the climate, and then you're making it worse by telling the big lie that your policies can fix it.